so much, and that's a very important thing to keep in our minds, and it's something that we've already seen here in day number 1 of our Stage 1 playoffs. Any team definitely can win. You only got the 8 best teams in the world. We start off straight away with playoff play. Obviously, we did all the work to actually get to this bracket, but it's just the 8 best teams left standing after those 8 weeks. But very exciting to watch this last series in particular. And one of the things that we talked about, Maven, before we jumped in was we expected to go to a Game 5, but ultimately it doesn't make it all the way.
I feel like Faze had to win the first 2 games. You know, London Docks we thought favored them and it was very close, but they had to win the game too. You know, it's now what? It was a 4-0 on the CTF for TK at Birmingham, a 3-0 here, so it's 7-0 basically over the last 2 times they played Arden 4. So I'm not shocked it goes that way at all. I think they had to win maps 1 and 2, and then it's going the distance. But look at the
scoreline.
Think about the difference between the 2 hard points in the Optic Envy series and the 2 hard points in this one. Like, you couldn't go from bigger blowouts to more hotly contested hard points over the course of those 2 series. Wow.
And it was insane. Everything that could go right or wrong, or everything just happened. Like, so many little details from either team could have been better, but TK, I mean, I think Kenny even told it in the interview. It was right. They get completely outslayed. They're on the attack. It seems like it's just over, and then Kenny pulls off like a miracle 2-piece inside the hill, like ripping someone off a head glitch.
I think it was attached. That shot was absurd. I thought they won the game there. I think I yelled in the back, they did it! And then it sort of fell apart. You heard him talk about it. Maybe a little bit of an over challenge after that.
And it's right there. Attach is like on the box, so he somehow pulls that off. They get the close spawns. Faze is attacking from the middle, but then Kenny's inside the hill. His entire team dies around him. I think here's where he's talking about over challenging, because TK, well, if he stays alive, can test for a little bit longer. Maybe there's more potential for to come in to help, but again, when you have this close of a game, the number of things you could detail that could have been done better, it's insane. And frankly, with what we saw from the Gibraltar, I would happily watch these 2 teams play hardpoint. Just go through all the maps.
All day.
Yeah, and that was one of the things when we sat down, Clint, you looked at me and you said, I have a million things that I could say about that last hard point. And there are just so many things that we could talk about right now.
You know, there were a couple of moments that really stood out to me. You had the first Castle Road hard point where you get an early rotation from Faze and they get broken almost immediately. And then it was really 2 rotations that stood out to me where Kenny made really good plays. And he did the same thing and they weren't ready for it either time. When you were going basically from the bottom turret up to the top mid again, Kenny both times has a Castle Road spawn, runs across the bridge and gets behind their player top left both times and just wreaks havoc for like 30 seconds where he's just making plays basically on their side, on Faze's side of top middle. And by being able to make that play, he just shifts the game, especially in the final hard point. I mean, that's where they get it won. That's where they make the play. And Kenny was incredible there. But there are a million moments you can point out, man. The hard points were insane.
Yeah, I think Kenny is undoubtedly like the most annoying player to play against in the game. Just for sheer of like, he's always in wild spots, incredibly aggressive, a thorn in his side. And even here in the final moments, just to keep it on like the Kenny train, he gets so far back behind here. And I think it got pointed out. One player actually slips through from Faze, but at the very least, he's going to call Zuma out. And then again, he's going to be in a thorn in the side. He sees Zuma, immediately gets cleaned up, and now he's got 3 players in front of him. Tags up Attach. He has to back down. That player gets traded. Then he's over top to get the 3rd. Like, he's so far behind enemy lines that as long as his teammates can just pre-aim with ARs and play slow, which Chino Accuracy are happy to do, they're going to be annoying and they're going to have success.
This is the exact position I was talking about. He did it the first time in that rotation as well. I think he actually killed Replay's top left when he was trying to make a play. Like, get into that spot. I mean, that kind of secures them the game on the final hard point. I mean, Kenny, brilliant stuff, and Faze, you know, it's surprising that it happened in the first time. They weren't maybe ready for it the second time for Kenny to get there.
And just huge for TK as well. I think we saw it in both hard point games, even when they lost. Even when Zuma has 99 engagements, 51 kills, ridiculous numbers, TK has a very good understanding of when they can apply pressure to an old hill, of when they can force that old time, because on Gibraltar, that 2nd to 3rd, they're like, all right, we can give up the rotation of the 3rd hill because we have the smoke strat to come in and break it. They have a strategy employed to say, we can afford to give up a little, or to fight for the scrap time, excuse me, on the previous hill, because we know what we're capable of later on. They did the same thing on Doc's Warehouse. They say, we can push for the main street hill with 3 seconds left because we know how we're going to handle the rotations. Of course, it could cost them in the end, but successful there.
Yeah, definitely having that right knowledge there, but now being able to employ all of that knowledge, we're going to see that is going to put them on a collision course with Optic Gaming. It's going to be TK versus Optic Gaming, E United versus Luminosity. And